Welcome to the Golden Feather. Grab a pint, a plate, and pick your seats. Your hosts Virtek and Chibi Bree are back from their latest adventure.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Golden Feather. Today we have Lord Simurgh with us of the Pathfinders. Hashtag Ashes fam.
She just called me a lord.
Yeah. That's what your Twitter handle is.
Can't take myself very seriously right now. I'm sorry.
I went to like tweet you and it was like Lord Simurgh. I was like, oh, I need to like intro him that way now. If that's how serious it is.
I'm sorry, this is 2020. You don't need to be a lord to be a paladin anymore. Okay.
He wishes. Okay. So, for those of you that don't know, which have to be very few, because Simurgh is very popular. He's got, let's see, you've got the Ashes Pathfinder, which was, what before that?
It's called the Simcast for what,
the Simcast.
Like 30-something episodes? And
yeah.
And we rebranded it, or I rebranded it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he's got some awesome peeps who are in here, including Distro and Cheryl. Hi! I don't even know what day it is. It's okay, Z. It is
poor
okay.
Z. Poor Z. She thought we were. She thought we were early by a day.
Oh no.
Oh, fun.
But yeah. So Simurgh, you had us on last week.
Yes.
We chatted about some pretty awesome stuff.
Yes.
Diggs, welcome in. Maki, welcome in.
There we go.
Never heard of him.
Right. Must be some peasant paladin in your chat there.
Man.
That's right. No on the head.
But so we're continuing this conversation, but give us a little bit of background info on let me turn on the background music here. Give us a little bit of background info on your stuff.
Ooh. On my stuff.
On your stuff, all the things.
Just a guy who likes to talk about MMOs and do the podcast Ashes Pathfinders, which of course was a Simcast for a long time. Hit 2 years of age as of yesterday. Yeah, I've been
happy birthday.
Thanks. Thank you. Pathfinders and Crusaders, because we got some of a little bit of all those people in chat. It's awesome to see them here because hashtag Ashes fam, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I just been creating content for Ashes for 2.5 years or 3 years or something. I don't know.
Forever.
Years now.
5 ever.
And can't really remember anymore. It just kind of all blends into one moment in time that hasn't stopped.
It's like it's all right. It's a good moment, right? It's a good moment.
It is. It's a good time to be in the Ashes community, I think. But yeah, just all about community, man, you know, and you all are too. And that's why we're here doing this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Speaking of community, you have a pretty awesome one. They're really nice. They're welcoming of us. They enjoyed our hostage takeover last week.
Which got edited out of the VOD on YouTube.
It was totally planned that way. Totally planned.
That was amazing.
I can't let this stand. Justice will be swift. Snip, snip, right out of that VOD.
You're like, not on my watch.
I was like, Chibi's gonna like this way too much. We gotta end this here. We gotta flip this right on out. Virtek will understand. Justice for my bald.
This is about a game called Apocalypse BR. They got a side project called Ashes of Creation. They're gonna maybe put out sometime.
Yeah, maybe.
That's sorry, how we roll. I couldn't resist. Okay, ends troll face.
Oh, jeez.
Right, that's how we roll into Simurgh's kingdom. Listen, Distro, it's enough out of you, right? Take it over your chat. Oh, there's my moment. There's one moment.
There it was. There it was.
So let's see. We have a lot to talk about. A lot has been happening in the community. A lot of discussions. I know. I always say his name wrong. I'm sorry. Jalan. Jalon made a video, wrote a video, if that makes sense. Made a video on Alpha 1, so did Alpha Soul. Sunfrog tweeted out that he did a speculation video on the Freehold. Then there's some Ashes of Creation community posts on the from the Ashes forums, and Lex was able to not only post the Alpha 1 dates out, but also a few little artwork things that we'll be going over later. And then Wandering Mist made a post about like making leveling interesting for veteran players, and we thought that was kind of interesting, especially if you've played other video games like World of Warcraft and stuff. But yeah, there's a lot to cover. There's a lot, including Fushi's waifu frenzy. We'll get there though.
Yeah, I'm thrilled at the fact that this past live stream and the director's letter has kind of reignited a spark in the community. So everybody put out something. Oh my lord, everybody put out something. There are some old people that haven't put out anything in a while that came back. New people who are still live put out like additional videos and additional posts. The forums lit up. Like,
not
super
everybody
stoked about that.
digs. Aw.
Not
But,
everybody.
Yeah, I mean, there's also, let's see. There's somebody who I guess is a official CC or was dubbed an official CC back when they had the CC program open. I didn't realize that he was a part of us. Plus, Lazy Peon was making a new video, and that's how I actually found out about Ashes initially. Typed into YouTube, new MMOs coming up, and Lazy Peon was like, blah 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 about like all these things, and then Ashes happened, and I was like, oh, that one like looks amazing. Let me go look at that. But yeah. Consensual PvP, your thoughts? Nice. Alright, so
well, speaking of Noani, by the way, let me just say real quick from one of the posts on the forums, I am totally stealing the word quarantini. I don't know. I don't know if Noani actually made that term or Noani, but I'm totally stealing it from whoever made it. Quarantinis are now a thing. Oh yes,
down at the cafe. You meet me down at the Golden Feather for a quick.
Yes. Now I need to make something. It's got to be like green and have like, I don't know.
Come on.
Right. Quarantini.
I'm gonna make something. Maybe it'll have like chia seeds floating in it. Look like little virus things.
She really wanted to be a part of it. I'm sorry. I tried to tell her no, but she wanted it.
Make you pop.
So yeah, where to start with all this stuff? Like that, did either of you want to start in a specific spot? Anything of special note?
Start at the beginning? Question mark.
Well, in 2017, we found out about a Kickstarter.
Too far, doggo.
But that's not even the real beginning.
That's no. It happened in Steven's basement. No, I'm just kidding. No, I was gonna say the beginning, quote unquote, as far as going back to the last live stream and then building towards talking about the next live stream and Sunfrog's video. What do you guys
Good place
think
to start.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, as far as like going back to the last live stream, like I know LexMax put up like immediately a little helpful infographic, just boom, setting out what was talked about, what was in the director's letter, and other stuff that included info from the Discord that specified that, you know, the QA section of the Alpha 1 is going to be, you know, under NDA and all, which a lot of people, I mean, that's kind of a controversial topic, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's a needed phase, I think.
Yeah, people talked about, I think we talked about that too a little bit last time, didn't we? Like on the Pathfinder show last week. Just like some people, you know, they get kind of bent out of shape around it. And it's like, look, man, it's, you know, it's alpha, man. I mean, there's here, this is actually something that I think is important. I had a conversation with some other devs this week, right? And there was this idea around, which I noticed, you know, the words true alpha, right? And like the idea of true alpha, there's like different builds, right? I mean, it happens in live versions of games, right? You have, you know, you'll have your PTS, people, they'll check out a build, then the build goes live and it's like 3.8.65 or something like that, right? You know, and so you'll have build patches and you'll have different build versions of games, right? And then you'll have like the launch of something, right? So like, I think that like one way to put this into perspective is when you look at Alpha 1. Like there's the live build Alpha 1 that is going to be open to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like what's going on up until that point, which is just what they're going to be doing, letting people in to test it, to stress test it, whatever. And look, it shouldn't be any surprise. They did this. They've done this ever since the game has been in development. They've utilized their community as testers, as stress testers, and then, eventually get to the point where everybody who has access to whatever that access is, Alpha 1 access, and then they make it live. And like, I don't know. I think that a lot of people get really bent out of shape whenever they want to be included in testing, and they think, well, since I have this, like I should be able to. And I don't know, man. It's kind of walking a fine line between the entitled gamer mentality, if you ask me, but just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in a tough spot because I did buy into PI, so I'm not losing out. I'm not like on the quote unquote like the losing end of things when it comes to that. But at the same time, I have to argue for it because we've seen what happens when early stuff is just given out and people start to freak and go, "Oh my God, this is what it is. It's failing. It's terrible. It's bad." So getting the initial testing out with an NDA with a controlled smaller group. That has more of a financial stake in the game, so they don't want to scare a lot of people off. They want it to be a little bit more on the successful end, so they want to kill all the bugs as quickly as possible before tens and 20s and 30s of thousands of people stroll in like, hey, what can I break too? It just makes straight business sense. It really does. Just let the big fires, the really obvious terrible fires, be put out by a smaller group, and then bring everyone else in immediately after.
I also think you remember like back whenever Alpha 0 was going on, there were a lot of people that got bent out of shape because they were like, well, I paid into Alpha 1 access and all this stuff, and like I should be able to get into Alpha 0, and this isn't fair. And no one really talks about that anymore. Like no one really cares about that anymore. You know what I mean? We're past it. I think that's probably what's going to happen, in this regard. Like we're going to get to a place down the road where the game launches and like no one's really going to be all stressed out about it and throwing a big fit about it. But I mean, I don't know, man. I don't really view it as that big a deal, even if I didn't have access. Like it's testing. They could be doing stuff. I mean, they test stuff all the time behind behind closed doors that they don't show us, that we don't get our hands on. We don't throw a fit about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, see, the tricky thing also, just to address some stuff that came up with Diggs and Maki in chat there, is Diggs, like the alpha doesn't really have much meaning anymore. Well, that's the problem with words and the way people and gamers are interpreting things. Is it is a word, it's there for a reason, it does mean something. Whether people are paying attention to it or not is totally different. Whether some game studios want to use the word properly or not is totally on them. But putting the word out there is, this is what it is. Read a dictionary, understand what the term actually means in a development cycle, and if you don't understand, you're the oddball out, not everybody else who just accepts that words don't mean anything. And so while I totally understand what you mean, I personally don't agree with it. Like, people should be made to use a word properly and understand what it means and go from there, rather than just adopt the ways of the mass mumblings of people that are most vocal.
The other thing I'll throw in there with that is also how game studios utilize alpha. You can throw the word alpha out there, but as we've seen with some ports, it's not a true alpha, it's just a port over. So, as we mentioned way back in the beginning when we first started podcasting, sometimes there's this desensitized idea of what alpha is. And as a game developer student, that's something that I had to study and make sure I used properly for tests and such. We even had to do a whole thing where I had to create a little game and explain what the different stages were for the game development and things like that. So I feel like sometimes, as Dig said, devs don't utilize the word as it's originally intended.
Yeah.
And
that's
that
the sad
can cause
thing.
issues too. Yeah. But
it's not the.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I think it's important, and while it may be, not exactly what we're looking for all the time. I think it's important that Ashes is as clairvoyant with us as they are. The fact that they do say, look, this is what we're working on, this is we're in alpha, we're in this, we're in that, this is what like is happening. Like I feel like between us, the content creators, and them, it will help to really flesh out what exactly the alpha is in terms of like how it should go, you know, realistically.
Yeah.
Like this right here is an example of alpha, you know, the fact that they're showing us gameplay, and yes, it may be a little bit broken, maybe it might crash because there's too many things, but you know, that's why they do a lot of the internal testing and stuff like that. That's why they need the limited QA testing, because they have to start off small with a small number of people and be able to build up the servers to handle more and more people.
Oh yeah.
We've also seen it where like they've released something and then it crashed and everybody's like, this sucks. So yeah, it sucks. This is part of testing. Like we need to test it to make it not suck.
Yeah, and I mean Diggs has a good point too. Like the agile versus the old waterfall model. Like there's a change with that, and like Aegon says, like, or Egon, not sure which way you pronounce it. I'm gonna say Aegon until I'm corrected otherwise. But it used to be qualified testers, and not just a way to get early access. That's true. But then developers started to figure out that they can get more hype out there with a little bit more risk, but either way, more hype, and also pay less money to professional testers by just opening it up to small groups of people who win a lottery system.
Yeah.
But yeah, early access has ruined so much, as Wandering Mist says. It's true. Exactly. It follows right the same lines right there. Exactly.
It's one of those things. We're in a very precarious time with video game development and verbiage. You know, there's so much out there. Like it just early access makes me want to run away. Why? I don't understand. Like, I don't know. I feel like a rose by any other name still smells just as sweet. It's still the same idea.
It also has just as many thorns.
Yeah, right. Just as many thorns. But like, the idea is still there as to what they're wanting. They're just calling it something different, you know? But that aside, I mean, honestly, I agree with what Intrepid is doing overall. Like, I appreciate that they are doing this layout where they're doing limited QA and then a more so limited QA and then the release. Like, or I guess a less so limited QA, but like more people in is what I'm trying to get at. Like, to do the QA testing, you know. But yeah. I just I don't know. I like it. I like what they've given us. I like what they've been working on behind the scenes, which brings me to another conversation later.
Yeah. But just to touch on something that Mikey said earlier, also with the even PI have leaked stuff, so being exclusive doesn't mean much because there will be leaks. This may be true. Like whenever you put anything out there at all, you pretty much always have to expect you expect that it's going to get leaked. Just expect it's going to be, and just have a damage control plan ready. But it's just like if you have a really nice bicycle and you want to ride it around town instead of walking or driving your car, you're probably taking a lock with you. Yeah. The reason why is because that lock may not stop the person who really wants your bike, but 90%, 95% of theft is theft of convenience when it comes to stuff like that. Hey, look, there's a really nice bike. Oh, it's unlocked. I can pedal it the hell out of here. No problem. But if you put a cheap lock on there that takes somebody like a crowbar or, bolt cutters, which not everybody has on hand, to get unlocked and take away, your bike's probably 95% safe there.
Simurgh,
people may just steal a wheel instead.
Right.
Good thing my bike is crappy. Oh, Mac.
Mackie, man. I think they kind of like, in terms of like the development timeline, there was like kind of the problem of we had Alpha Zero, and then, it's like by definition, that's what really, of course, like you're saying, people should be really basing it a decision on in terms of like how you're going to react or respond. But, it was ambiguous whenever it was like Alpha 1 Phase 1, and then it kind of went to APOC. And so there's like definitely some like, responsibility that lies on how they kind of present things. And I think the rest is kind of on us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can definitely feel that.
Yeah.
But let's move on to another conversation.
Let's do it.
Let's look at also Alpha Soul listed out, I think, 10 things that he really liked from the Alpha 1 preview as well. And a lot of his points were pretty much, I feel like a lot of us are agreeing that we're excited to see some of the same things. Especially his point on like the naysayers. This last preview really helped to kind of solidify and show that Ashes of Creation is actually intending on doing an MMO, and that while we may have not been seeing all of the progress as far as complete MMO things up until last month, they have been showing us little tidbits here and there that if you've been following, like during Halloween, they showed like a little quest line that they had where they had to go clear out some disturbances on the grave sites and stuff like that. Oh goodness. But I feel like over time they've been like peace feeding us some MMO things. But basically, sorry, I'm trying not to be distracted by chat and like get my point out there at the same time.
I believe in you.
But basically, I feel like I agree with him as far as people who weren't so sure about Ashes of Creation saying that, you know, Ashes was a scam or whatever, that they're just taking your money and not actually doing an MMO. Things that Simurgh kind of, was kind of touching up on last time, where he had heard things outside of the Ashes community circle. I think it's just important to realize that that is a very real thing that's going on, and that hopefully this ends up turning people's views. You know what? Somebody else talk.
I'm so sorry. I'll take responsibility for that.
You're breaking our Chibi. You're breaking our Chibi.
I'm sorry. I blame it on. It's the Crusade. They had a momentum of their own today. It's not my fault. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I mean, Maki, even like you said, yeah, that's true. I did watch the video, and there was a quick turnaround, and without getting into all the socio-political ramifications of really bringing up that fairly controversial topic, let's just say, yeah, there was an apology involved, and yeah, there was a totally different outlook, and even like makes me happy. They went out and made a video and covered it, and honestly had very valid points from beginning to end. Like, it was really positive in outlook, and there were fair criticisms exactly where criticisms were needed. So yeah, in full fair balance, yeah, it was a solid video. So here's hoping for future things in that area with Ziz.
Yeah, I actually haven't had a chance to look at that. I was actually catching up on a lot of the community member videos and such while preparing today, because it's nice to listen. I'm working on doing that more often. That's actually why we made in our Discord a community links thing, so that at least there, like, anybody in our Discord can also see, like, hey, I've just made this video, and then it definitely alerts me. But I'll be checking that one out, Mackie, if you want to send it to me later in Discord chat or something. But goodness. What is this chat right now?
I don't know, but it's entertaining.
Magic Man also created a forum post asking people's viewpoints. Virtek, I believe you wanted to say something about that.
Oh yeah. Magic Man put up an Ashes post, and a couple bullet points on the positives and some negatives and some neutral, and a bunch of other people kind of interacted and went along with that as well, and putting their thoughts. The one thing towards the end that it's totally off the rails of the initial post of it, but his closing paragraph of the initial post got me thinking about how fun it would be in Ashes to go through. And I use the term the entire game loosely, because just, as much of it as you can from the point you start to the point where you're at that exact moment, like through the entire game of that time, without doing any quests that aren't specifically required to unlock a skill or region or an ability or something like that. Like crafting stuff would be okay. And if you need to do a quest to unlock riding, then so be it. And gliding, so be it. And if you need to unlock a certain region or dungeon, so be it. But every other quest, just avoid them completely. Like really test their open world model. Like how much can you really do without needing to do like a guided tour via quest lines. But that also takes into consideration, like, I think Stephen at one point said he wanted it to be a little bit more of an open quest system, not quite so like a guide on rails. Like there's going to be a main story quest line, so to say, but it's not going to be like going to get you through the entire level range by just following that. I love this.
I'm so sorry. I swear I came on here reading to be good. I swear.
No, it's all right. I love your community. These folks are fun. Keep bringing it.
Broke Chibi 2 times. I feel like this is justice for last week. She was like, I took over the show. I'm like, yeah, man. And I'm doing it. I'm not even trying. I'm not a bad I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not looking at chat anymore. I'm listening to you two. I'm not going to look at anything else. I swear. Okay, no, I can't make that promise.
Yeah, I can't make that promise. But yeah, I thought it'd be really cool. Like, I think I might even try that myself. Like, make one character where I don't do any quests outside of what's required to advance specific things. Like, I have to get a certain skill or unlock a certain area.
Yeah.
Challenges.
Yeah,
Challenges.
Yeah, it's good data, though.
Yeah, definitely. It kind of reminds me of those whole World of Warcraft, like, only leveled by never... like hurting anybody or whatever. Yeah. Took forever, but they finally got to level 85 by only doing quests that never hurt anybody.
Or the Iron Man, wasn't that one of them? Like, wasn't that like not wearing any gear or something like that, except for the clothes you get in the beginning? Is that right?
I think so.
Oh man, that's insane.
Which one? Yeah, it was like...
Because I know once you get up to like level 70 and 80, it's like you go from like 1,000 hit points to like 30,000. That's a big difference. That's like one hit versus being able to survive for 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no weapon or armor. Oof.
That's it.
Sorry, my dog, there are sirens. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I'm really hoping she doesn't start howling.
I just started howling at it earlier today.
Yeah. Okay, good. It stopped. Also, that being said, Wondering Miss did make a post talking about making leveling interesting for veteran players, on the topic of World of Warcraft and leveling and such. I can't. I just can't.
Oh my god, I said I wasn't gonna look at chat anymore and I didn't. I'm sorry.
About the wee woo minion siren.
Oh
I did take it back though, to be fair. I did take it back.
Yeah, you did. But oh my goodness. Oh.
But yeah, the leveling interest for veteran players, by the way, like that one, I honestly, and wondering Mr. in here, like it's a great topic, and I actually want to take the time to read that entire thread. I haven't had the chance to read the entire thread, but I definitely agree. Like there should be some kind of interest there. Like the first couple levels for sure should be easy because you're just being introduced to the game itself. You're still staring at all the cool whatevers that are catching your eye. And you know, the first 10 levels should be easy anyway. Get you used to your base skills, your core skills for your class. Like you're going to be a healer type, so you look at the heals, you know, get used to making some friends and whatnot. But then it should start getting progressively harder fairly quickly. Like once you hit level 10, it should start getting difficult. And then by level 20, and this is assuming like your typical MMO starts with a max level of 50. So, you know, by that time you hit level 30, you should be definitely core straight into your role. So by level 20, it should start really be getting difficult, and you should start having to really buckle down into things. So yeah, I mean, I also agree with your point where, you know, you gotta also make it accessible, because if it's somebody's first MMO ever, they're going to be really frustrated by a complicated, in-depth system that really makes veterans go all happy in their pants and get excited and like start running for like this with their full speed.
Yeah, and I like what Wondering Mist said. Was my main takeaway from that thread is that right now MMORPGs don't do enough to help new players or engage the veterans, and I feel like Final Fantasy XIV does a good example of this, where you can do mentoring for new players, and it kind of makes it worth your time because you get mentor points and stuff like that. And I know Ashes had mentioned something about wanting to make it worthwhile for more, I guess, more established players who have already been playing the game for a while to help out the newbies and make it more worthwhile. I'm just interested in seeing what kind of system they choose to go with that. Yeah. I
mean, I will say, I did jump into one game that really had an interesting system, but it was also a pay-to-win monstrosity. That if you ever got involved with PvP, if you weren't paying, you were just fodder to feed everybody else. But it was Shaya Online, and they had I think it was only 3 tiers, maybe it was 4, but they had different tiers that you could set your character into, where there was like an easy mode where you leveled super fast and you're able to get super powerful armors, you get more of a boost from things and such, and then somebody else knows of it. But then the next tier up of a character was, it took you longer to level, like twice as long to level, but you were also more of a powerful character. You got more stat boost for every level that you went up. So by the time you're level 50, you're going to be stronger, but it's going to take you twice as long to get there. And the next tier up was even more so, but then there was an ultimate mode that was like, you die once and your character is gone.
Yeah.
Poof. But you were also like this ungodly beast, and it was really hard. Yeah, exactly. PvP was max credit card limit. That's exactly it.
Man.
Because you could buy a potion that would keep you from losing your character when you died at that top level.
Yeah.
And of course, people are going to stock up on those and keep 79 of them in their bag. But yeah, it was a nightmare for pay to win. But it had an interesting system. Something like that might be kind of cool, because even if you're a newbie, yeah, you could totally, and I did that, and that's where I decided that I needed to step away from that game. Is I was a tank character, and I jumped in, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna drop like $30 today and buy a whole bunch of stuff, see what happens. And I was in a PvP area, and it was just me versus everybody, just completely destroying people. They're like, wow, how'd you get so strong? I said, I bought it. I bought all of it. I'm a tank, I shouldn't be able to kill anybody. But yeah, something like that, I think if a game were to ever really install that but not make it pay to win would be nifty. Like, I'm trying to think of a way to really do it, because you could have somebody totally start off as an easy mode, but then maybe, I don't know, if they wanted to increase their character to a different mode, they'd have to like drop down to a level 20 or 30, like wherever their class definition really starts to kick in, and then re-level the character from that point, maybe, so they wouldn't have to delete it, you know? Yeah. Maybe that might be a thing. Or go through like a super hard, super long process to upgrade your character from an easy mode to a normal. I think something like that might be dandy.
Yeah.
No non-consensual PvP, Dig said.
Jeez. Yeah, Mackie said he was a healer and just wouldn't stand there does not take damage from a rate of 100 people.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. That's why I don't
Come on, man. Yeah, come on.
I try not to talk about the game much anymore.
At some point, but I mean, I feel like that's a good point. I mean, first off, that sounds pay to win. Second off, that's an example of how, like, too much power is easily, like, overdoing it, you know? I feel like once you get to a situation like that, it's just more... I don't know, it becomes more like, okay, this game is like not stupid in the term of like I don't like it, but stupid in the term of like I'm stupid powerful. Like there's no reason. With great
power comes great payability.
I'm just trying to get to the point that like you shouldn't be able to be like that powerful in a game ever, unless maybe you're a level 85 against a bunch of level 1s. Or some like super big difference in level change. But
oh my god, have you ever done that in a game? Just out of curiosity, I just have to ask, have you ever been like level 50, 60, 70 and had like a bunch of level 10s, like a raid's worth of them attacking you?
No, I've actually been like the lower level where I was trying to like do questing and the bigger levels kept just wiping us out in like certain areas of World of Warcraft
Oh
because
God.
they could.
I want to tell you guys a story, but I'm not gonna do it here. It's gonna make me look real bad.
Sounds
God,
like a
you did
paladin.
Sounds like it'd be a great like guild event type thing.
That
like,
sounds fun. Yeah.
Oh no, like have an actual like prize given out or something. But yeah, have somebody get up to like level 20 or 30 and lock their level and just gear out and have everyone make level 1 characters and see if you can take them down.
I did that in Terra and Fae Forest, so with 50 and drop Ice Storm AoE on noobs. Oh, dear. That's so mean. But I love what Woodchip was asking earlier. I don't know if anybody else caught it. He said, what do you all plan on testing when you get into Alpha? I plan on ganking everyone to exploit the PvP system because I'm a PvE player and want to see what mechanics are in-game to stop ganking. And I think that's a great point because I also hate being ganked. It's just, for me, it's not fun. I have saltiness left over from World of Warcraft from it, and it just, anti-gank measures, yes please. But I know they're not going to have all of them in Alpha, but as far as your actual question, I am most excited to just try whatever crafting or leveling things in general. I don't know, I'm just excited to test the MMO.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. Definitely want to jump in and check out the PvP gank system and see. Well, not gank system, the anti-gank system, I suppose. Like really test the bejeebus out of that corruption because I want it to be a strong deterrent, but you also don't want it to be. I don't want it to be too strong. I know some people out there will mainly because I want to try out the bounty hunter thing. I want to hunt people down that are trying to gank others so often. So I want it to be dissuading so it's not happening all the time, but not too powerful so that there's somebody out there for me to track down and kill. So
yeah, that's fair.
There is that.
Yeah, I want to get all my filth out in Alpha. Honestly, because you know, right?
Work it out of the system.
Gonna be the Crusader. Can't do that in the live version of the game. So if I'm gonna test out corruption and all that, I'm gonna do it in Alpha. I'm just saying.
I was gonna say sim boss.
Yep,
just heal me, we are fine. Hey, I just plan on being for the most part a heals, but okay. So 2 things that remind me of. First off is Scheme's Ash's forum post on hybrids, asking what hybrids everyone was planning on doing or trying out, or they thought was most interesting.
Bard tank.
Bard tank? Is that what you just
Bard
said?
tank. Bard tank. Like if a bard is going to be like a proper support, and there's an interesting mechanic in there dealing with like, you know, chords and such like that. I forget exactly what Steven said the system was going to be, but just if there is like an actual system that requires some effort to manage and it's a support class, but then I can also off tank, I will jump in that role in a second and run around. I will sing a battle hymn and off tank a boss and whatever. Like it sounds like it would be a blast.
Like, hi, you're following me now. I'm running away.
Like just yeah, exactly. Like imagine a jester that's like poking fun at somebody via song and taunting him that way.
Right.
That's funny.
I don't have my Chibi lol on here. Jeez.
Nope.
I can tell how Chibi's like judging you. She doesn't say anything, but she just shakes her head.
It's a clear sign she's judging.
She's judging you.
Judging purely. Has no idea what to say about it.
just kind of like you just kind of see that and you're like, oh man.
Ranger
I'm just
Rogue
shaking
or
my
Rogue
head like
Ranger.
I don't know what to do with chat right now. I'm just gonna.
I don't know what to do.
I promise they're never like this.
Ever.
In this reality of Era, that is like, let's frame it the right way.
You brought this on yourselves. You know
True story.
We did.
How about you there, Sim?
Yeah, what combo would you like to try or think is most interesting?
In terms of what? I'm sorry.
Class.
Like hybrid class stuff.
Ooh.
Like mixing something that people wouldn't normally think of as well, like taking it beyond the paladin heal tank combo.
like class combinations, right? That we're going for.
Yeah, someone that could fill multiple roles rather than just saying like rogue fighter, because it's still a melee fighter, just sneaky and backstabby with also a gigantic sword in the other hand.
I don't know, man. You know, something like it'd be interesting to see something like a cleric tank.
Yeah.
You know, something like that. Like something that's just really in opposition. Like you kind of see some of this sort of like these kind of like archetypes in like the Elder Scrolls Online. Like you have this idea that like I'm a sorcerer, right? So I'm only supposed to play this way. And but you can run around and be like a stamina sorcerer. And they already talked about there being like different weapons and things like that you could kind of run around in different ways. But yeah, I think something like that would be, oh no, Mac, you don't tank the Don. He said Templar Necro, although that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know what is. That would be interesting. Something that's really defying. Like, I mean, when you think about a cleric, though, like cleric by like power over life, right? So like seeing a cleric kind of go dark side somehow to me does make sense to a degree. Like, and I kind of have a feeling that in Ashes of Creation we're probably gonna see something like that, especially with the augment system. But yeah, just something like, well, basically take a Templar. You could take a Paladin in this situation because Paladins will exist, depending on how they structure the Paladin. Which I could go off on a rant on this one. I was talking to some of the guys that Defend the Night about the design behind Paladin, and I'm like, oh, I want my Lightbringer, you know, when I have light and justice and all that. And they talked about some ideas around that, and you know, doesn't necessarily mean it has to embody this kind of like this idea of like that we've seen so many times over and over and over. You could change the way. I'm sorry, I'm veering off the rails. I'm just gonna say this, something like, you know, like a cleric tank or something, you know, like some role that just doesn't fit it by design, but that you could potentially do. I think would be really, really cool. Because then if you're able to do stuff like that, especially in Ashes, then you now have another game where like there's this kind of like this kind of like a bard thief. Yeah, something very counterintuitive to what you're so used to hearing some class or some archetype kind of embodied by design, but that actually works somehow from a theory craft perspective or even lore perspective.
Actually, honestly, like the cleric tank in that order, like being the cleric main but tank secondary, that actually does sound kind of interesting, because you could be like a raid healer or something like that, and then if like your tank falls down, they could step up, taunt, and heal themselves and keep themselves alive and keep taunting long enough for someone to res the tank back up, and then you step back out into your healing role. That would actually probably be pretty effective and fun.
Yeah,
right.
I think Summoner Bard would be kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm,
instead of summoning people, you sing to summon them. Actually,
it sounds to me like a Disney princess.
Right? Exactly.
Just saying.
That's why I want to be a summon bard. Why not? I'll just name myself like Belle or something. I don't know.
Is that what that is hanging
Ariel?
up back there behind you, Chibi? Just asking for a friend.
Which one?
Right, back to your right, I think. Or nope, I don't know which one's which for you. It's like which perspective is the camera is actually flipped, or am I seeing it right?
Mike's side or hat side?
With the dark side hat on it, yeah.
This thing here?
Oh, your Mado dress.
There you go. This. Yeah, I do a maid cafe thing online.
Peach outfit would have made.
Oh no, it's just a bunny maid girl cafe.
Oh, okay.
Summoner bard. Other way. Charm them. Chibi confirmed. But yeah, I think that we go. Bunny girl senpai. Oh geez. Let's not go down that road. Speaking of things coming up, also because we're growing close to ending time, Sunfrog tagged the two of you because you guys were talking about the freeholds a lot last time.
Yes.
And he was doing a whole video. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, he went through Farming Simulator and was comparing that with the live stream that we saw. as well as Steven had said that he was going to be possibly delving into more freehold information on their upcoming live stream at the end of the month. So what do you guys think? What are your thoughts? I know that I saw that you already saw it, Simurgh, as you responded to it, but thoughts, opinions?
I think it's just kind of good. Honestly, like I'm gonna kind of go a different direction with this one. I mean, I'm not gonna. I don't know. I think that Sunfrog's actually kind of one of those creators that doesn't get enough attention. Honestly, like he's put out a lot of really interesting things. Just super positive kind of overall kind of impression from Sunfrog all around, and I think it's just good food for thought to get people thinking about like what kind of we're going to see in terms of kind of like building in general as it kind of comes to developing. Because when I was watching the video, what I thought about was, part of Sunfrog's point was basically, look here, this kind of a staging area, sort of like stage, right? Stage one is like, here's a staging area, here's the loadout. We're kind of like grabbing supplies. If you think about something like Arcade, for example, it was like this box frame tarped up, and you would basically come and you would contribute the resources until you met like, we'll say roll the dice and say like roll, it's like 100 wood, 100 stone, and that was what you needed or something. It was definitely more than that, but and you kind of add everything to it, and then when you'd be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna build my home, you just instantly have the house, right? And I feel like that was like kind of a good point that was at least kind of outlined to some degree there. Is that in Ashes, it's not going to be like this, let's just put a tarp up and you don't really get to see the process. I think that part of what maybe we saw was either A, we're going to get to see it pop up in stages based on how much we're putting into it as we're starting to build it, or B, we're going to just kind of dump everything into it, and then instead of just like poof, here's the house, we're going to actually see it build up. And we've seen that on the stream so far, so that's kind of my thoughts though. But yeah, also show Sunfrog some love, because
and I don't know, this was one of those videos I was telling Chibi before the stream that this is probably something I could sit here and talk about for 20 or 30 minutes alone. But I really liked how he had the that farming simulator as a visual representation of what exactly he's talking about, and what he's afraid of it doing or not being able to do or what have you. And I don't know, I think that there should be some kind of like a money sink when it comes to like moving a building, demolishing it, whatever, but maybe not too extreme, like just something significant enough so you can say, it costs something to do something, and maybe some time. I'm just curious about if they see it that way. And also the
Sorry, you're getting distracted.
it was me.
Don't do it. But also, if the buildings will have that same construction visual as the buildings inside a node, because that'll be really cool the first time you're building up your freehold, right? But afterwards, when there's some people out there that are going to change it up seasonally or monthly, or whenever they buy a new cosmetic, or whenever they just on a whim decide that, I'm over the Grim theme, I'm going to go with the happy cute bunnies and chickens, and they want to redesign just because it's a Tuesday, like they're going to be not exactly happy, I'm sure, to redesign their entire freehold and have to wait for all the buildings to go through all the build up visuals instead of just drop it on there. I want to see it, I want to make it, that's it. But I don't know, I would think maybe that they'll give you the option of turning it on or off, so you can have that immersive feel to it, or if you can just turn it off and just have it built and be done with it. Hey, Sunfrog, it's actually perfect timing because we're talking about your video right meow.
Yeah, we were.
But I'm curious if they're going to allow that to happen and be adjustable, or if they're going to force it one way or the other. And like I'm really caught on the money sink part as far as destructing buildings and moving them and such like that. I feel as long as they make it obvious that the building's facing a certain way, like, you should pay 100 gold. You could find that in 2 quests, but it's going to cost you something to pay the people to move your building. Like whatever.
It's just
finding the middle ground on that's tricky.
I think that's part of what the testing is going to really help with, like fine-tuning things like questing, fine-tuning things like freehold placement, getting the community's actual, like, that's why I think it's really, really important. Okay, guys, you need to keep going. This is way too short, and Sunfrog is here now.
Sunfrog's here now.
But
Nice.
I was just gonna say that, like, I feel like with us actually giving 100% feedback, our honest feedback while testing, that's where a lot of the core changes are going to be coming from. Like, if you feel like level 1 to 5 was way too easy, like, I one-shot a few things and now I'm level 5, like, it shouldn't have been that easy. I should have at least had to hit it a couple times to get a feel for the whatever thing. Then, you know, write that out. Or, hey, it took me way too long to get to level 10, it's feeling a little grindy, write that out. Like, things like that that really help with, like, the feel of the game, and also the minor things. Like, I don't know, I have, like, a weird sense of attention to cute details, so if something was even, like, slightly off, I'd be like, I don't know if this is super important or not, but when I was trying to place my freehold, I could generally tell, but it would be nicer to have, like, an arrow depicting which direction was the front way, kind of thing. And stuff like that. I think that little information like that coming back through as we test things will really help them to, for one, possibly cover ideas that they didn't think about before. As far as my favorite thing when I bounce ideas off of people is I kind of have the few people that I talk to a lot about the idea, and then I go to one outside person and I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? And then they think about something that none of us thought about because we're all on the inside. And I think that is my favorite part about, like, community being able to see stuff and give a feedback on, because sometimes we might think of something that they didn't even think to think about. Like, it never even crossed their mind. They've been working on this for so long, they wouldn't have known that that might have been an issue. Or it might have not have been an issue for them because they already know what to look for. Things like that. Sorry, that was a lot.
It's alright. That's alright. So what Cheryl's was saying actually kind of got me thinking. Like, you know what would be really cool to see in there is actually a template system of some sorts, where you could actually set up ahead of time what you want your whole setup to be during a certain season or a holiday or whatever. Just title it something, and you'd be able to go in and switch it right up so that it, you know, adjusts like on the whim. Like, you can spend a week setting up your template.
Yeah.
And designing everything perfectly, and then you save it, and then the next time that holiday comes around, you can just click right into it and redo everything. Or for that matter, have it literally seasonal. Like, if it's going to be every 2 weeks is a different season, come up with 4 different setups for your freehold that are based on the season itself. And that'd be dandy if they had a little checkbox to say alter with or set with, you know, whatever season. This is my winter theme, and have the little cabin that had the snow on it and everything, and like your little snow hounds like hanging around outside in the garden or whatever.
And wouldn't it be cool to see something like that? If, I mean, this might be a bit extra, I don't expect this, but you know how, like, they already have it changing from one season to another? Imagine you already had something set, like, this is my fall, this is my spring, this is my winter. So what if it went from summer to fall and, like, the leaves started falling, and then it, like, changed over to that new look, or into winter, and then the snow is falling, and now, like, it's gathered snow everywhere. I don't know, just ideas.
A transition dial or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about with the template, to set up a template and be able to set up, like, this is what I want it to look like during the winter season. And if you could put a checkbox there, that way when the winter season hits and the trigger is there for it to start snowing and leaves to be gone off of trees, that it switches up your freehold appearance too.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
And if you could actually do it like no, this is not good. I'm drawing a blank on its name.
Hate when that happens.
The MMO I kept going on about, WildStar. Jesus Christmas, it's been so long since I've played it. I miss it so much. But no, you could actually change the entire biome of your housing area to be in a certain type of weather condition. But yeah, if you could make it just lightly snowing on your freehold, like when you step on the property, you see the snow falling.
I wonder if so here's the other thing I was thinking of. I wonder if that's already going to be built in. Like, you don't change your freehold, but because of the weather changes, there's going to be leaves on the ground, there's going to be winter snow stuff, depending on where you are, etc. But at the same time, you have to realize there are the cosmetics where the things look different. You know, there's the more snowy looking one. There's there's that. So I wonder if there's going to be one by default, or if you're like, for winter, I want this specific tavern look, not my normal tavern, but winter, but this specific tavern look. So that's something that I was trying to figure out too, because I mean, the taverns look so different from one to another that, or I mean, I'm calling it a tavern, but the freehold things, the cosmetics, they look so different from one to the other that it'd be interesting to see what happens with it.
And Lolly, I'm sorry, but if you're gonna have a kawaii maid tavern, either they should be cleaning out the leaves out of your gutters, or the followers of said kawaii maids should be cleaning out the gutters. One or the other. It'd already be handled.
Good thinking. We need one in the cafe, a snowy area border, and then one another next to it in warmer weather. One can serve shaved ice, the other hot ramen.
There you go. There you go.
I love you, puppy, but off, please.
Down, puppy. Down, puppy.
She's making my leg fall asleep and overheating over here. But yeah,
that's
doggy.
Doggy. But yeah, the other thing I was curious about with that is, I only vaguely recall Steven's statement about the customizations on the freehold. Did he say it was going to be like full Lego style, like everything is just a grid of blocks that you can move everything around? Or was it going to be like certain sections would have it, like there's going to be a pathway through the whatever, and here's a big building section, here's a small building section, and you can move it around as well there. I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm wondering how much that's gonna kind of like. Remember when that had been mentioned? The thing I was wondering about was, you know, you think about like Ark or Conan, you know, something like that. I only reference them because those games specifically have like a certain way that you place like essentially like the blocks of a foundation and whatever. You can like rotate them a specific way and all that. And you know, I think about like I don't have a whole lot of like reference points for this, but I definitely know, like in the Elder Scrolls Online, for example, in that one, like the building placements, you know, or even like item placement within like a home or whatever it's a little tricky. And either you can create add-ons for it, which I don't use, but I definitely think that like having some moderate level of customization in terms of how you actually are able to like orient something and place it is going to be really important. So it's not just like super Lego where it's like, you know, you block it down only this way or this way.
Yeah,
like you might want to tilt it a bit or something to place it, and, you know. Yeah,
I know that there's something similar to that in Sims 4, where people actually add mods to the game so that they can exactly say, I want it to do this at this and that. And I really enjoy those mods. I don't have the mods, but I really enjoy like that extra I guess quality of life option, where it gives you just that much more of a customizable, I mean, because in reality you're able to put it wherever you want to put it. But I understand with like engines and things like that with the game graphics, there's gonna be some cutting. But I'm just saying, if your tree can cut through a building, I should be able to move wherever I want it, kind of thing.
Well, a part of the building, yeah.
Right. But that being said, I had a question for you two. I am interested in freeholds, but I'm just kind of waiting for more information on it. What are you guys most excited about as far as freeholds? And what are you most hoping to hear about as far as freeholds?
Oh, that's kind of tough, actually.
I have ideas on this one. I think it depends. I think depending on what they allow us to utilize within that space. Mm-hmm. I don't know that this is going to happen. I don't even know if it's something that's been hit on yet. But the idea of like some sort of a trophy system, where it's like I went and did this dungeon, completed on max difficulty or a raid. You know, my 40-man raid group went and we got, you know, like server first, quote unquote. I use that very, very lightly, but some level of prestige, right, and achievement. And so maybe there's like something that ties into an housing item that sort of system would be really good. Like being able to like, put something up on the wall or like on top of a shelf, maybe even like a replica of my favorite sword that maybe I can't use now because, it's not really the best item for whatever I'm doing, but could I put it on the wall, or armor and stuff? Like you ever look at the Witcher 3, there's a house you get and you can kind of put some of your gear up. Do you remember
that?
Wait, have you played it?
I've not played it. No, it's on my list. I really want to play it.
I'm not gonna spoil it too much, but there. All right, so let me just put it this way: there's an idea of like the behind you, right? You have like a bus and you can like put stuff on it. Or any kind of a system like that where I can maybe hang my old armor or put up one of my swords or something like that. That would be cool. I don't even know if that's something that's even been discussed or not, but that would be, if that makes it in, oh man, I would love that. Yeah.
I know, I think it was actually on the live stream where we had Steven on. I think he mentioned, because I know we had a question from the community. I forget if we asked it there or if it got answered in another stream, but we asked specifically if there would be a system to keep like the heads of monsters you defeat as a trophy and hang it in your house. And he said, oh, absolutely. So there's at least that. There's at least that. As far as like hanging an old sword that you used to use and loved, but it's absolutely useless now. That one, I'm not sure if that's going to tie into.
I would love it. I know I'm thinking outside of what we know for sure and everything, but like my armor set or like a sword or something that I really enjoyed along the way that I can like display for memories would be pretty awesome.
Yeah,
it would also be great if you could literally hang anything anywhere and you could just like any whatever. Like
here's my roleplay outfit. Here's my raiding outfit.
Yeah, like you hit the max everything you can in a certain tier of content being released, as far as like raid content specifically, and you get all geared out there, and then new content's released. I want to take all that armor. I want to set it up in my armory corner of my my freehold. I want to set it all up as like a display of this is what I achieved before the next expansion came out.
Yeah, I believe the bot is permitting links. Yeah, there you go. You're not timed out.
Yeah, I think it's permitted for cute. Regulars.
Yeah, regulars, I believe. Which means you've watched our stream at least a couple of times, pretty much. But yeah, that's cute. I like it.
It's durable.
I know Fushi wants waifus on his interior. That's why I was asking.
Oh yeah. Fushi made a forum post talking about the religion of waifus. And how it's very important.
Yes.
Now we need to be able to upload images or import images. Unfortunately, I don't see that happening.
No. I thought it would be cute, though, to share. I don't know. Trying to, like, have some sillies in here. Another silly that I wanted to go over is, do we really actually need Tolnar by launch?
Trying to ruffle some feathers, huh? Golden feathers, even.
Yeah. I see what you did there.
But some people were saying, yes. I forgot who it was. One of them was like, "Don't you mean we need them at all?" No.
Yes, one of my favorite forum personalities, Nagash, came out and said, "I think you mean, do we need Tolnar?" The answer is no.
But yeah, just some. I like the lightheartedness, especially with a lot of us stuck inside or just working and not able to do anything to enjoy ourselves. Just wanted a little bit of comedic relief towards the end here, just to, give you guys something funny, interesting to look at. I did want to say that Razarath asked if the AOC Apocalypse is coming back. The community consensus was yes after Alpha 1 with the Castle Siege and the Horde mode. I have not seen an official response yet on that, but it is something that we are looking for definitely sometime after Alpha 1. But also the fan focus that I wanted to cover, which I'm not seeing in the notes here, I'll go look at the Discord, is one of the content creators that I missed, and he recently posted a video of like Ashes of Creation stuff, and it seems like he's one of the ones that are kind of like here and there kind of making videos for it. And I don't know, it was somebody I hadn't seen yet. Completely missed them becoming a official CC for Ashes at some point, but I thought that it was somebody new to shed light on, and definitely wanted to share information about. And then also Virtek seemed to have found somebody for a fan focus.
Yeah, and I'll drop that YouTube link. It was for a person named Richie SH, for those that may not have bumped into the name. But yeah, that's the YouTube video for the most recent post on Ashes specifically. They've been covering a lot of other games lately, mainly. I mean, honestly, who could blame them? There hasn't been a lot of like big information, so he seems to drop like a video a month on just the updates. But aside from that, yeah, I actually found something that was pretty neat. If nothing else, just for like a quick snippet. Someone named Tinnis ended up being posted as a Fan Friday thing on the Ashes Twitter. But they posted a little like 1 minute visual skim of the entire live stream, like little bits here and there, condensed down to a minute, just for people who wanted to see a little bit of everything that was there, and just kind of get a little bit of the visuals for the entire stream all in one go.
I have to say, even though I was there for the live stream, I actually completely missed the part where you got to choose what building that they placed down. I think I was so busy trying to take notes and like just in awe of everything that like I think I looked away for a second and I saw that they put an armory there, but I thought that was just like a predetermined thing. Watching Sunfrog's video with her clicking the drop down and like the different options, I thought that was really, really cool for the building.
yeah. I mean, I missed a bunch myself because I was working at the time it was on. So yeah. There were quite a few things that people mentioned that I was like, really, that happened? Oh man, I gotta go back and watch that old live stream again because I missed it.
Yeah.
But never know what I'm gonna miss.
In summary, there's final news from Ashes of Creation. Their live stream is at the end of the month, and also for anybody who's interested in cosmetics, they're delaying any new cosmetics until after this COVID-19 situation clears up. Not only because it may be hard for them to work on cosmetics during this time together cohesively, but also because they realize that a lot of us in the community have either been impacted by COVID-19 or have less money to spend in some way or another, and they'd rather just keep the same cosmetics that you see up on the screen until all of this blows over. So yeah,
just no pressure to buy anything.
Yeah, exactly. Simurgh, any final thoughts? Yes.
Actually, I was going to backtrack really quickly because Lolly had actually linked that, and we were talking about housing a bit there and like freehold stuff. It would be really cool is if, since they're going to be doing, since we're essentially going to be able to run businesses around like things like taverns and merchant stalls or whatever, how cool would it be if they had these like, what do you call it, like boards out in the world, like, like in cities and stuff like that. And Lolly kind of linked that, image, and it was basically, it looked very much like a flyer to me. Like, how cool would it be if you could actually post flyers like that for your business? Really cool. Like,
like a billboard.
People could go check it. Yeah, that'd be pretty sick. Yeah, like a billboard, exactly.
Yeah, to be able to actually post up proper design flyers. But yeah, I was thinking like that'd be really neat if you could do things like that, like actually upload some art. But then I figured that would be absolutely a massive undertaking that would require people to screen every single image that ever came through.
Yeah.
Or else you're gonna end up with like the porn palace and stuff like that.
Yeah. Although if it was just related to like businesses, that would limit like that kind of interaction pretty significantly.
That's fair too. Yeah.
You have to own a business, right? And
you have to own the business to get the flyer. Exactly.
Yeah, only so much time to like get it approved, and then you can use it for like maybe in like seasons or cycles or something like that, where you can use one every so often. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool, actually. But anyway, that's like my only final thought, though. Really, I just think that and they talked about the housing item, right, that was being released related to COVID-19. It was going to be showcase. Maybe was it going to be on this upcoming live stream? I think this month, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe.
I think so.
Yeah,
there's something in there.
Yeah. I'm curious what it's going to be. Yeah, I'm curious. Like, I think, and this is a good point going back to housing too, is like, I wonder what exactly it's going to look like, but also scale in terms of housing, since we haven't really seen housing. I don't know if we're going to get any idea of scale. And if we get any idea of scale, then maybe we'll get a little bit of a, sidestepped, kind of like snapshot into housing a bit. But yeah, that's really it. I think they're doing pretty good. I'm looking forward to seeing where they go. But most importantly, #Ashes fam.
Yes, #Ashes fam.
Yes.
And speaking of, we actually were working on a little thing. So I haven't been able to get all of the people in here, but I got most of them. Feel free to use any of their commands to go check out things, including the wiki. The wiki is there too. And also I figured that'd be just a good, like, with the wiki is a good one to have, just in case.
I'm just making sure my name is spelled correctly now, that's all.
Lolly's Kawaii Maid Cavern. Oh jeez, no porn palaces in here, Mr.
Wow, Mackie, wow. I mean, wow.
But yeah, so that's a jeez, Cora. That's a thing that Simurgh has coined, and we're trying to get it going. So make sure to start using the #AshesFam, and come together as a family for Ash's creation. Support.
Show your love for the game.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
But aside from that, when's your next live cast, Simurgh?
Next Ashes Pathfinder show is tomorrow at 5 p.m. CDT every week for the current foreseeable future over on my channel at Twitch TV, Simurgh /Simurgh, SIMURGH. Yeah, I upload it usually a couple days later. Those particular shows go up on the YouTube, which is linked to all my stuff and things. So yeah,
stuff and things. Important.
All the stuff and things.
All the stuff and things.
As for our next podcast,
it looks to be on the 25th.
Yes. But we may also have one on the 2nd due to live streams happening the following week.
Yeah.
So
because timing might get a bonus. Yeah.
Bonus May stream.
Looks like we might have 3 in May. Holy moly.
Yep. Have 3 in May.
We
try our best to time our podcast. The reason why we say second and last is because sometimes there's 5 weeks. This case there's technically 5 weeks, but there's only 4 Saturdays. But the reason why we say second and last is because we always try to get that Ashes live stream in there. So we'll see you on the 25th and then on the 2nd, and I'm working on updating the bot so you guys can do ! schedule inside of our Discord and see when we're going live. But aside from that, any last words, Lord Simurgh?
Support your podcasts. Yeah.
Yes.
Like the Golden Feather. Make sure you support them. Come hang out during the shows and stuff, man. Show that love.
Toss a coin to your feather. Oh.
I was trying to figure out where I could make that work, and I wasn't happening, which is why.
That's why I said toss a coin to your tavern.
Yeah. I think most importantly, I don't know. I kind of speak for both of you here on this one because I know that you do the same thing. But like, you're always looking for people on any, like on the Ashes Pathfinder show or the Golden Feather. Like, I think what really specifically sets our shows aside is like we definitely have a focus on community. And getting to know other people in the community and hearing your thoughts and your feedback. So, definitely if you're interested, hit up your podcast host and come hang out.
Yeah. And,
Absolutely.
We're open to having anybody who doesn't mind talking on cam or not off cam. I mean, we've had Z and a few other people who prefer not to share cam, but yeah. Been there, got the t-shirt. Aside from that, I think
you designed the t-shirt. We just stole your art and printed it on the shirt. So
yeah, pretty much. Toss a coin to your doggo. Yes, thank you all for joining us. I just want to say a quick thank you for those of you that followed us. Thank you for those of you that subbed and gift subbed. We really appreciate all the love and support from Ash's fam and the community in general. My dog is getting antsy. But
absolutely
yeah.
appreciate it all over and above just spending your time with us.
Yeah, definitely.
Taking time out of your Saturday to come over and say hi and especially be active in the chat. And, you know, for those, when we do have weeks where you don't know somebody we have on stream, getting to know our guest.
Yes, exactly.
And when you do know the guest, making fun of our guest. I mean, talking with our guest, welcoming them. That's
shaking your head
Saturday.
and disdain at your guest.
See?
Silently judging him and just going.
Oh goodness.
It's okay. It's okay. It's justice. Virtek's gonna shake its head. I'm just kidding. She would really kill me, I think. Metaphorically in a game somewhere.
I'm going. Yeah, metaphorically in a game.
Yeah. Nah, man. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. It was great having you all on, and I definitely look forward to having you again sometime. And all about the love, man. It's always a good time to hang out with you guys.
All about community, all about support, you know.
Absolutely.
Let's get this game made. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Champions of the Light. Crusaders.
Wait, where is it? Where is it?
I love it. That sounds like a League of Legends host kind of move or
really?
Voice right there.
Man, I'll make this work somehow. I don't know, man. Hey, man, I'll take it. Doesn't sound exactly like me. That means it's somebody else, which means I did my job.
Did my job.
Clip that voice. Somebody do it.
No.
Clip it.
It's probably gonna happen. It's fine.
Well, welcome to the League of Draven. New subscribers.
Yeah, there you go. Do it.
All right.
Do it. Peer pressure.
Hope everybody has a good weekend. Be sure to stop by on Simurgh's channel tomorrow for the Pathfinder show. And, you know, check out our Twitter. We post a lot of things as the Simurgh. Yeah, can't wait to share thoughts and things with you next stream. Next Ash's stream as well. So, yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate you all.
Have a good day.
Bye.